Archangel is about a woman who is pregnant with a warrior angel to save the earth, Michael. It goes back to Genesis and Revelation. So it's got kind of a history to it, but we're taking liberties.
I like to think about it as an authentic imagining of what happened when Archangel Michael threw Lucifer and the fallen angels out of heaven. There's a lot of, biblical and pre-biblical documentation or mythology regarding to where these angels went and where they fell to, or where they were cast out to. And our take on it is they were cast out into the earth.
Conceptually, I think this project is really exciting in that it has all the hallmarks of a tentpole film. Its scope is ceilingless in that this can really be something that breaks out. So, similar to Beyond, we're hoping that this is a really solid launching pad to developing a feature film and hopefully a few of them.
We were looking for a place that kind of had a fairy tale magical feel, because we wanted to have this feel otherworldly, and the DP Andy and I went up and scouted and found this little retreat in Big Sur where everything was green and the water was flowing and it just felt like magic.
I'd never filmed anything, deep in the throes of nature before. I've gotten down and dirty, but it's a little more cushioned than what we had, which I think is really cool because it was raw and gorgeous and beautiful and we didn't need cushion and we were just threw ourselves in the middle of it and made it happen, and it was very real.
My name is Bryan Mcgowan. I have been sword fighting for about 8 years now. I've always wanted to play an angel, like an archangel, and do those Lord of the Rings type things. And my character's name is Raphael, and he is an archangel. So he is one of the commanding soldiers in God's army. I told my mom when I booked this, I was like, all right, Mom, you're gonna be really, really excited because I get to play an angel. She was like, well, tell me more. And I was like, well, I basically get to fight demons as an angel. So, it's like the best job ever.
It's exciting to watch Raphael work. What makes him quite unique as an artist is his ability to both write, direct, conduct all his own visual effects. So when you see him directing today, he's got not just his director's hat on, but he's already thinking about post and how he's going to execute shots and VFX. And in my mind, that's all the tellings of a director with a hugely bright future ahead of him.
He knows exactly what he wants, has the shots already planned out in his mind, and it's amazing how direction can just lead you in a different way that you never even thought. And Raphael really knows how to be an actor's director.
My name is Andy Patch, and I'm the cinematographer of the short film Archangel. It's going to be really hard not to look at the camera. For the film Archangel, there's two distinct things that we did in order to get the look of the film. Shooting on the Sony A7S, it was a camera that allowed us to do extreme low light shots. So we basically were shooting in this forest in Big Sur, close to dusk. So it was actually really, really dark to our eye, but because of the fact that we're able to go to about 20,000 ISO, we were able to see everything within the forest. We also shot on the DJI Ronin. I was able to stop down to it was like an F8 or an F11, and anyone that knows cinematography well, you know that allows you to have a lot of depth of field. Because of that, we were able to get the shots that we did very quickly. I've had a lot of experience with Raphael doing commercials, and we've done a lot of two-camera stuff, so we kind of had this built-in language that made it relatively easy once we're actually in the location to find the shots we wanted.
Working with Christy was great because we had access to all this armor that her and Alicia had access to, and she's just a super talented seamstress, so she created all the wardrobe from scratch and made it into what you see.
Christy was in charge of costumes, and I have to say, this chick knows what she's doing and did it on a very, very small makeshift budget, and I I don't know, like it's all in the detail, especially, I mean, I could have looked like a big flowy white sheet, but it was so well tailored and just really was flattering and also comfortable, which is a feat in and of itself. So I was very, very grateful that that Raphael found Christy. It just speaks again to the great group of people he brought together to make this film. The stuff that Raphael gets away with in front of the camera, and then when he puts it through all of his magical editing post process, it's pretty fantastic. Besides the fact that everybody was super talented and knew what they were doing and everything was choreographed and fancy, I don't know, we had a neat energy.
When creating a film, editing is something that really gets taken for granted, but that's where a lot of the story is brought to life. Working with Kristen, we were really able to hone in on what the story actually was.
I primarily use Avid to edit with, and for this film we chose to use Adobe Premiere Pro, and the reason for that was because it's a very visual effects heavy film, and they did a lot of stuff in After Effects. Premiere Pro correlates really well with After Effects, and so they were able to take those comp shots, which pretty much the entire film is all visual effects. They were able to translate those to and from very easily, so it was just a huge help for them, and it was fun for me.
Cut.
The fight scenes were shot on green screen. They shot at 240 frames per second on the Red Epic, and they would have these stunt guys, jumping up and down on trampolines and all sorts. I don't even know how much footage that I got from green screens from that soundstage. But what we were able to do is to use a lot of speed ramps, and we were able to, kind of like in the style of like 300 or some of those types of films, but to really amp up the action, which is what you see in the finished product.
The post process has been much longer than the actual production process because we have to create space scenes, we have to create wings in 3D and then track them to every single shot and every single body. So we had to CGI the demon eyes, we had to make swords disappear.
Creating the fight scene for Archangel was a blast. For the backgrounds, we utilized a variety of techniques, such as using fractal noise to create energy, working with particular and animating still photos to create the illusion of movement.
The demon character, Alex, that was probably the most fun stuff to shoot just because the makeup was so good.
How was it being chased by the demon through the forests of Big Sur? Super creepy, guys. I was in this like white getup and we're in a forest with lots of mud and dirt and like rolling around and being like, no, you can't have my baby, no demon. And I think I held my own.
The demon was a combination of visual effects and makeup. So the whole facial part of the demon was makeup, which was pretty incredibly well done. But his eyes were digital.
I'm super excited for this project to come out because it's been a really long time and I have been telling all my friends and family about it. Plus, I have blonde hair in the film, which has been a dream of mine since I was a little girl. And I think that in and of itself is enough of a reason for everyone to go see it.
Working with Blair is amazing. It's a dream come true, Blair.
She's the worst.
As you see in the fight scenes when they're just like, rah,
That's hilarious. The book about birds.
On camera, ready? Right now.
Say something from The Exorcist.
Your mother's a...
No, I can't say that.